So there's three main stages of a pour over. There's gonna be your bloom stage, your pouring stages, and then your finish. Let's start by talking about the bloom stage. Basically, as your coffee is roasting, it's being filled with CO2 in the little pores within the actual bean. Then when it finishes roasting, from that point on, all the way to the point at which you consume the coffee, your coffee is very slowly degassing that CO2 that's trapped inside. Now, ideally, you don't want CO2 in your coffee, right? So you should let it degas until there's none left, right? But that's not actually what you want, because as it degasses, it also releases some organic volatile compounds, and those compounds account for a lot of flavor in your coffee. So, all that being said, there's kind of a perfect time range for a specific coffee to the point where it's degassed enough that there's not as much CO2 in there, but there's still some of those sweet organic volatile compounds that are going to account for some good flavor. The blooming stage is when you are initially introducing water to your coffee. You'll notice a ton of bubbles coming out of that coffee, ideally if it's a rather fresh coffee. And those bubbles are those last bits of CO2 releasing from our coffee, because there's still some CO2 in there at the point of brewing, ideally. So those bubbles, when it frosts up like crazy, that's what's happening. It's releasing that remaining CO2, which is essentially finishing that degassing process, which is exactly what we want.